welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Meg, and today we're doing an episode of Bachelor Talks Season 22 with Arie. Oh my, what episode are we even on anymore? I don't know. Is it episode 7? Is that what we are? 7. All right, guys. So there's a lot to discuss. For it being such a boring episode, I feel like this is like every week, like this is the story of my life. I have a lot of thoughts, but the episode wasn't that great. So I honestly find myself struggling to get through it. Like I DVR it, so like I fast forward through commercials and I see how much time is left and I'm like, how is there still an hour left of this show? Like I don't understand. It's so slow paced. Ugh. Anyways, at this point, I'm hate watching this show, as I feel like a lot of people are. I feel like a lot of people aren't digging Arie. Let me know, what do you guys think about him? Because you guys are gonna see me hating on him a lot in this video. So definitely hate watching at this point. And the girls, I love the girls on this season. I think that they're so fantastic, and I think it's like so sad that they're being wasted on Arie. I feel like such a mean girl saying this stuff, but I definitely love them, and I feel like this season they're all really close with each other. Like I feel like it's been a minute since we've seen like the girls on a season of Bachelor be like really close with each other. I feel like a lot of them are friends outside of the show, or like they're going to be friends outside of the show, and I think that it's really awesome that they're there to support each other. They're there to talk openly, and they're not really sitting there like being catty and like making judgments on each other. So I really love that with this season. And like, that's my favorite part about this season. I just realized my makeup kind of matches my picture back there. Anyways, on to the episode. So they're in Italy. There's 3 one-on-one dates and 1 group date, which I mean, they kind of just called it like a 3-on-1 because that's basically what it was. So the first date, I'm going to be really brief about it because I don't have a lot to say. I really, truly enjoy Becca K. She's like one of my favorites because I feel like she's like the one that's the perfect match for Arie. Like, I think that she's the one that he should end up with. And right now, I'm going to tell you guys my predictions for the final 2. The final 2, I want to say like I can almost guarantee is going to be Becca K and Lauren. So let me know what your predictions for the final 2 are. I think that Becca K is like honestly like the perfect match for him, and I'm really glad that they were able to reconnect, and I'm glad that they had a one-on-one date because she's so not like a group date kind of girl. Like that's not where she shines. And that's just because she has like a really chill, laid-back personality, and I feel like she's like so go with the flow and easygoing, and I feel like that's why she would be like the perfect match for Arie. Like they both have like that really chill like vibe to them. And I can just see her being open to a lot of things and like not really controlling or anything like that. So obviously she got the rose. We're going to see her hometown. So I'm excited to see her move on. And take a moment for the siren. Anyways, she admits to him that she is falling in love with him, and he admits it back, and like that's huge because normally on the show, like when you're the bachelor or bachelorette, it's huge no-no to tell like the contestants what your feelings are, like if you love them. So that was very bold of him. I feel like at this point in the show, like he knows, but like they need to continue the season. So that's my thoughts on it, and I feel like that's why this episode dragged. Anyways, back at the house, there's some drama going on with Jacqueline. Like she's being like so indecisive. I feel so bad for her because like as someone that's a true overthinker, I totally get her, and like I totally feel for her on this. I feel so bad for her. She's sitting there doubting herself, like how can, like, you know, there's hometowns and then there's a proposal. We just connected. How am I gonna go from A and then jump all the way down to Z where everyone else is like at W? You know what I mean? Like, I totally got her thinking on that, and I feel so bad for her. And at the end of the day, I feel like I love that she was able to stay true to herself and she just didn't stick it out to see what happened. I love that she was able to go confront Arie and like talk about her feelings and get everything off of her chest. So that's exactly what she did. She went down to Arie's hotel room to go talk to him, and I like love that she's like, I need some of your wine, and like drank it. That was like an amazing moment because it's like I could totally, like, I was like empathizing, like internaling like her stress. I totally, like, I could feel her. And basically Arie sits there. This is where the crap talk of Arie starts, by the way. Arie basically sits there and he's just bullshitting her like he does with everybody else. And it really irks me because it's just like he messes with these girls' emotions so much. It's just like, I can't handle it. Like, it's not like emotional abuse, but it's just like there's so many like little like red flags that it's just, anyways, he's like basically talking to her about being ready and being interested in her, and but he has like no emotion on his face this whole conversation. He's just like completely like one-dimensional, flat, just like, yeah, so like, are you ready to be with me? Like, are you interested in me? Like, nothing to him. Like, she's pouring her heart out to you. She's crying. Like, she's so upset. And you can't even like pretend to care or like pretend to be invested in this. You're just, so what are your feelings for me? Do you like me or not? Like, I wanted to punch him through the TV. And then it pisses me off because like obviously he's not into it, but he's letting her go on, like whatever, like maybe he was being nice and like letting her get it out. But then he goes, I really like you and I don't want this to be over. But he says it with no emotion, like so monotone, no expression on his face. At this point in my mind, I'm wondering, like, is he a sociopath? Like, I don't understand. Like, he has like no feelings. He's so flat. It's just so like bizarre and weird to me that you are on this journey where you're supposed to be experiencing all these emotions and trying to find love, and you're just sitting there like, can you just get out of my room already? It's basically like how he was. He could have stopped her at any point and politely like ended it instead of carrying this on. Like, I don't get this carrying it on thing. Like, I didn't appreciate that. Like, I thought he was just acting like such an ass. And then he has the nerve to say off camera, like in the interview, it's sad to see she couldn't see the week through with me. And I'm like, why? So you could just send her home? Like, you wanted her to stay so you could get her more emotionally invested, so then it's more devastating for her when you send her home in a few days? Like, you had no emotion talking to her. Like, what's the point of keeping her around? Like, I don't get him. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't know, maybe he was told to play along by the producers, but it's like, at least like put some acting into it, show some effort so it's not so like fake and obvious. I'm like too invested in this, guys. Like, he just makes me too heated. And by the way, like, I was writing down my thoughts while I was watching the show, so that's what I'm looking at. Oh my Lanta, that was like, what a shit show. And then he has the nerve to say, if you regret this, come back to me. Like, why? I wouldn't, if I was Jacqueline, like, girl, you're too good for him. You are too good for him. You are too, like, emotionally intelligent for him. Like, I just don't get, like, why you would say this when you clearly have no interest in her. Like, you're just making yourself look awful. And by the way, I love Kendall because she's such an empath and like she's like totally empathizing with Jacqueline, and I just, again, that bond that they have is just like amazing. Like, I love seeing that. So next up is Lauren. And it's a typical Arie and Lauren date. Not much is said during like their daytime stroll around Italy, which I get because I feel like I'm also like that kind of person too, where it's like if I'm somewhere like Paris or Italy, I'm gonna be looking around and I'm gonna be like taking it in, and I take a minute to process things. So I totally get like not being like da 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 the whole time. I just drink coffee, so that is why I'm like da 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 this whole video. I totally get it, but she still, the whole thing is her struggle with her opening up. Meanwhile, we have the Bachelor as the least emotionless person. So basically, dinner time is where she does open up, and she basically lets Arie know, like, hey dude, like, I'm falling for you. And he has like the worst reaction anyone could have to someone saying that they finally, you know, let your walls down. That was on the date card. So she does. She pours her heart out to you, and you have the worst reaction. Like, someone sitting there and rejecting that would be a better reaction than what Arie did. So after she says that, you could tell he's totally in the moment, and then like something clicks in his head that he's on camera. I don't know what his problem is. It looked like he wanted to say that he loved her too, but he just chose to get up, grab some food, shove it in his mouth, and then walk away for who knows how long. I'm guessing it was probably like at least 5 to 10 minutes. And Lauren, I felt so bad for her because, again, it's like you're messing with these girls' emotions. Like, why would you have like no reaction and just at least be like, oh my God, like, wow. And then be like, I love that you just said that to me. Like, please give me a minute. Like, show a smile, something. Don't just... So now she's sitting over there having a freak out because she just finally did what he wanted and he literally walked away from her. It's just like I just feel like he's just like torturing these girls' emotions. I'm like such an Arie hater. But yeah, so he walks away and then he comes back and he's still acting like a complete weirdo. Like, I don't get him. Like, I don't get his deal. And it's just like, people can say what they want about Lauren. They can say that she's awkward. They can say that she's boring. They cannot like her, but like nobody deserves that. Nobody, like not even someone like Crystal deserves that kind of treatment. So eventually he comes back, and after she sits there and she is prying and digging into him, like, give me some kind of answer, like, I saw something, like, good for you, girl, for calling him out on his bullshit. So now it's like the role is reversed, and she's like, you know, it's like, how can you sit there and, like, expect someone to open up and then you close off to them? I don't get it. So finally, he opens up his mouth and he's like, oh, I'm deeply in love with you. So before I saw this episode, there was an article that E put out the day before or like the day of, and basically it was him talking about how he fell in love with 2 women. So it's like, bingo, bango, there's your 2 women, Becca and Lauren. And it pissed me off talking about playing with emotions. So this whole article is like about him like, oh my God, my life is so dramatic. I fell in love with 2 women. It was so hard on me. It was so hard watching it. Like, I can't enjoy it. But the finale is going to be entertaining for everyone to watch because I do have to make that decision. Like, he just comes across as such a freaking narcissist. I can't stand it. So anyways, it's quite obvious at this point that his feelings, like, he has the strongest feelings for Becca and Lauren. And at this point, it's obvious that his feelings are a hell of a lot stronger for Lauren than they are Becca. So it's like, do we need the rest of the show? Do we need the rest of the season? But yeah, definitely for sure, her and Becca are going to be the final 2. So now we're going to move on to Cian, where I'm going to get more upset. Because I love Cian. Like, she's amazing. Like, I don't get, like, what wouldn't you like about her? You know what I mean? Like, what? She was like the balance between Becca and Lauren and the rest of the girls. Like, Sienna was like the balance between the 2 of them. So they have such a cute date, and like she's like basically giving him her all, but then he makes the comment, do you think you can get there? And like right now I'm like, girl, that's code for it's over, and he's dumping your ass. And I felt like Cian, she's a very smart woman. She knew. So it's like, why do you continue to carry on the date? Like, she isn't dumb, dude. Like, just get it over with. And again, like, don't torture her throughout the rest of this damn date. And then he does another really cruel and mean thing. He grabs the rose, right? So she's like, oh, okay, like, I was being paranoid. Like, I'm sure that's what was going through her mind. Like, oh, I totally thought he was going to send me home, but here he is. He's going to give me the rose. Everything's good. And then he goes, I can't give this to you. Why would you pick up the rose if you're not gonna give it to her? Why would you do that to somebody? Why would you trick them like that? Like, I've never had anyone on the show get me this heated before. It's just so cruel to do that. So, and then it pissed me off because in the interview, like off camera, like away from the date, he goes, I dig her, but do I dig her deep enough? And then he smiles. Like, you know you don't. Why are you like laughing about it? Like, can we please have Cian be the next Bachelorette? Because like, she would be amazing at that. Like, Cian for president, man. Cian for Bachelorette. So next is the group date, which is really a 3-on-1, which turned into a 2-on-1. So we have Kendall, Tia, and Becca, the 22-year-old. By the way, that villa that they went to was like so beautiful. But I love Kendall. Like, she puts it all out there. Like, as Taylor would say, she's very emotionally intelligent. But she puts it out there for him, lays it down, and he's just, all right, he's about it because he gives her a rose. And I would also, by the way, if Kendall doesn't make it to the end, which I don't think she is, I would also love to see her as a bachelorette too. Her and CN, like, they have what it takes to do that. And then we see Becca become more and more panicked as the series goes on. So like in the last episode, I feel like she started to freak out a little bit because she knows it's going to come down to her age. And like, I get that that's so frustrating for her. I honestly feel like she went into this having a sense she was going home because she kept making comments about the rose and like, oh, if he sends CN home, then that means that there's 2 roses up for the date. Like, she kept talking about it. Like, you just knew she knows. So next, Tia gets to Arie and she has to talk to him about Becca. Now, we saw Crystal kind of do the same thing, but there's a difference between how Crystal handled the situation and how Tia's handling the situation. So basically, Crystal threw Kendall under the bus, I believe it was, saying like she's not ready for marriage at all because she's never been in a relationship. That's throwing someone under the bus. Tia, because Crystal wanted to win. Tia is genuinely concerned for Arie, and this is the difference between Tia and the rest of the girls. The rest of the girls have Arie as an interest, but they want to be that end game, whereas Tia, like, she just wants the best for him. I feel like no matter what, even if she doesn't win, she loves him, and she still, at the end of the day, wants the best for him because she genuinely cares about him. And I love her. Like, she's so real. So that's the difference. Like, she actually has interest. She actually cares about him and his relationship and how his life ends up. So she talks to him about her concerns with Becca, and I love her confidence. And I think it's great that she actually talked about the Becca situation, and then she lets Becca know, like, hey, I talked to Arie about you, and this is what I said. Becca's obviously crushed, so she goes to Arie crying, and they talk about it. And I just thought, can I just say, it's weird AF that they bonded over having gray hair. Like, I'm 22, but like, I have gray hair too. Haha, we're not that different. That's weird. All right, so Kendall got the first rose, which was great. So then it turned into a 2-on-1, which again wasn't necessary, but for like ratings and production, blah, 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 I feel like they had to go on with it. And Tia's pissed because I feel like she, again, felt like she was a front runner because she was being called first at the rose ceremony. So I think she was like a little bit like, what the heck, like questioning his feelings for her now. And it was just a really weird and awkward 2-on-1 date. But again, Tia keeps it real. She has no filter. She lets Arie know like what's going down with her. Yes, I'm still in love with you. Yes, my feelings are getting stronger than you. Stronger for you. And that basically like keeps her in the game. So I'm wondering if like Arie knew like who he was going to pick and they just needed to keep it going for the show's sake, or if he really wanted Tia to validate her feelings. Because again, I feel like he's like one of those needy people that's like, I need you to constantly tell me that you love me, like a narcissist would. Just saying. But it was very obvious that he was way more into Tia on this date than Becca. And then with the whole Becca thing, like, I'm wondering if like she talked about this more behind closed doors, because like a lot of the girls had like similar concerns about it not being her age, about her not just being ready in life to get married. So I'm wondering if there's like a lot more behind the scenes that we didn't see, which I'm sure that there was. And he just seems like he's so over Becca on this date. And then again, he sends Becca home, but he doesn't give her a reason why. Like, I'm so sick of him being like, oh, you're so amazing. But then it's like, if I'm amazing, then why are you sending me home? Like, you're not giving any closure to these girls, which again, I think is really cruel and unfair. Just saying. But we did finally get to see the robot show emotions. He cried when Becca went home, which just like, I feel like Becca was something for him that made him feel young, and that's why he really liked keeping her around, and I feel like he really liked the idea of her, but he knows like in the long run she's not good for him. But I was just like shook to see him actually showing emotion and crying. That was crazy. And yeah, I honestly feel like Tia and Kendall are just like too fun and spunky for him, and that's why I feel like at the end of the day, it's gonna come down to Laura and Becca because they totally match with his personality more. So, long 20-minute video. I know I had a lot of thoughts. Yeah, so I'm really excited for the hometown dates. Let me know in the comments below what your guys' thoughts on the episode were. Who do you think is gonna make it to the final 2? And I will see you guys. Oh, is anyone else gonna watch the winter games that they're doing? I feel like it's gonna be like dumb and cheesy, but I'm gonna check it out. I might make a video on it. But yeah, let me know if you guys are gonna be watching that, the Bachelor Winter Games. So anyways, I'm done rambling. Thank you guys so much for watching if you made it to the end. I really love it when you guys leave me comments and we can have a little discussion going. That's always super fun. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.